Naughty Nautilus. My name is Corinne and this is Flosstube number 12. This is going to be everything I did in June. Today is July 1st. I'm going to apologize, the lighting's not going to be as great. It is raining. I apparently missed my window to film this morning, but I want to get it done. So let's get through what I did in terms of cross stitch. So I've got the whole gambit to show you today. I've got FFOs, I've got finishes, I've got new starts, and I've got whips. And I had the tiniest bit of haul. So first, I'm going to show you my FFOs, and I'm hoping the glare isn't too bad because I have to have some lights on, but I did purchase a couple of frames to get a few pieces out of the box pile of finishes and onto the wall. So I don't have the stats for these, but this was the gentleman. I finished this. I don't know that I might have shown this in my whip parade in December when I came back. But this is the gentleman from Riolis. This is a kit. It is anchor floss. And I have been working on this. I know it's in the older videos, but I finished it in my hiatus time there. But I'm very happy with how he came out. He got a blue frame that has more to do with where he's going in the house versus matching it, but I think it gives it a nice pop of color given that it's a very monochromatic piece. So it was a fun stitch. I'm happy to have it finally framed up. Now I just need to get it onto my wall. One step at a time, right? Trying to figure out where I want to put these. That's a safe place. We'll go underneath. The other framing I did, this one you have seen. I went ahead and framed the dog sampler. So this one was on 20 count Aida with an anchor floss, which I don't use anchor that much, and I'm a little hesitant to now. I don't know if you can see it as well in here, but it did bleed on me. So there's little bits of kind of blue in there. Kind of some of these, especially where it's really dense stitching. But it's not too bad, but it's definitely going to make me think twice about my anchor floss and mixing it with anything else there. But overall, I'm very happy with this. I was happy to find a frame that it fit in pretty well. I didn't really think about the finish size when I started it. And I was happy to find a standard frame. Doesn't need a mat or anything like that. So yeah, and this one we went with a kind of a grayish color there. I didn't want to, well, one, finding frame in my price point. I think this one was actually a clearance frame. So, but I thought it would work just fine. I think like something like a blue frame like with the other one would have been too overwhelming. But yeah, I'm very happy to get that one done as well. I still have a whole pile of finishes that need doing. A lot of them are kind of weird sizes. So we were playing a game of I can only afford so many frames. I had a budget. What can I find in my budget? So that's what we went with. All right, so those are my two FFOs. I had one finish, and this is actually a start and a finish. I did not talk about this. I started it on a whim, and I decided to push through and finish it. So this is from a cross stitch magazine. It's called Cross Stitch Mag. It's issue number 26. I'll put what the cover of the issue looks like. I used to have a subscription for this, but it's one of the things that got cut out, and also they had like slowed down releasing issues. It's not a typical magazine, so I made that decision, but I do have a couple of fun patterns from there that I had never stitched, so I decided now was the time. This, I believe it is 16 count Aida. It might be 18 count. I don't know. It was a scrap, but it is this pickles pattern. So it was actually a full coverage. I don't really do a lot of traditional full coverage. I did try to do diagonal rows, but I couldn't get myself to do just one block at a time or one row at a time, so I still did cross country. I didn't find it, I found it was slower. So I did one set of 3 rows that way, and then I did the whole bottom part, just old-fashioned cross country. This is a total of 3,689 stitches plus the back stitching and French knots there. So, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. This is going to be a gift. I think I'm going to make this my first pillow finish. So obviously I haven't washed it yet. You can still see my grid lines there, but I finished this last night and I set it aside and haven't thought about it beyond that yet. So that was kind of a fun start and finish. It's funny, 3,000 stitches used to be like, oh, that's a huge project for me to complete in a month. And now I'm like, oh, that's a small thing. I can do that real quick. I think it was a total of like, I started it on the 10th and I finished it on the 30th. So, and I didn't work on it every day. So less than 20 days. It's just a change in my schedule and having more stitching time for a lot of it. I did not say, but I did actually do 15,180 stitches plus back stitching in any paper pattern that I didn't count for. So it is down from last month, which I suspected, but it's still higher than other years, and I still got a lot done. As we go through, you will see. So that was my only start and finish. I did have 2 other starts. Like I said, it was a crazy month. Actually I've talked about both of these before, but one I for sure knew I was going to start. This is going to be Beauty and the Beast sampler by Lena Ova. It'll look like this. And last time I had showed you my fabric and my floss, and I'm very excited. I was hesitant at first as I started to stitch on it, whether I liked the floss, but my color choices, but I'm pretty happy with them now. So I ended up getting 2,189 stitches on it, and here is what it looks like. So let's see if I can try to, yeah, that's probably pretty true to color there. So it's kind of an orangey yellow. There, and this is a 20 count Balana that I purchased, and I hand dyed myself to get that golden color. And I'm using DMC 317, which is the gray, 355 is the red, and 520 for the leaves in there. So this is kind of the vision. We're gonna do the red and the green for all the florals around it, and I'm gonna do the inner parts all in the gray. I was debating adding little pops in there, but I think I'm gonna leave it. We'll see. But for right now, this is the plan. So I am very excited to get back to this. I worked on this earlier in the month and then kind of set it aside to try to get some other tasks done. Wanted to come back to it. So yeah, I will probably continue some more of the florals and start filling in here as well. So yeah, pretty excited about it. I've been thinking about this pattern for weeks now at this point. So that's one of my starts. And that's living in, I don't know if I've shown this bag. This is one of the first bags I ever made. I use Elizabeth Ann Constitch's method, and this was some leftover fabric I had from an apron, and then I have cats on the inside. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It's not like super sturdy or anything like that, but it's actually one of my favorites. So, and it was an early bag experiment. All right, so that's one of my new starts. I've got them stacked very specifically here. My other new start, verify, yep, that's what it is. This is the Riolis kit, and I had said I was thinking about starting this. I ended up starting this on the 18th. I'm sorry for crinkling sounds you may hear. I have it, and I don't have it pulled out, but so this is what it'll look like. It is Angelique by Riolis. So yeah, I started this on the 18th. I'm using everything in the kit, and very small start. I kind of got to a point where I was tired of all my other projects that I didn't have goals met on yet, and I wanted something new, and I was like, why not? Since I'm getting stitching done, I'm allowing myself to have a few extra projects. I guess I'm down to 10 now. I let myself get up to 11. I am trying to keep it around 10-ish, maybe 12, depending on how things progress through, but this is where I am at, and you can't see that much of it because I started in the center, and it was a little white, and then it was a light blue and a white kind of mixed together, a blend around through there, and at some point I was like, I need some bright color, so I started filling in over here. It was kind of funny because I would walk away from it on my stand, and I'd look and I was like, why do I just have blank fabric there? This is 938 stitches. I would have liked a little bit more on it. I just never quite got back to it, but yeah, I will probably, with this, whenever I do a center start, I kind of tend to fill whatever's in my Q-snap, and then I basically decide, do I need to go side to side, up, down, and I work my way that way. I will leave it until I get to those parts, until this is done, figure out which way I want to go. But yeah, I did not get her percentage. A cat just ran behind me. I don't have her percentage. I did rechart it to fit into Pattern Keeper, but it's not a great percentage. She's a big pattern. Finish size is 11 3/4 by 15 3/4. So she's not small. And I'm using, I think I said I'm using all the kit stuff for it. And she's Anchor Floss. The Riolis kits sometimes are a wool acrylic, but she is Anchor. So I will be cautious when it comes time to wash her. She lives in this bag. This is by Crab Shack Stitchery. I have quite a few of her bags. And I don't know, when I saw it, I liked the vintage fruit. There was no rhyme or reason. I don't try to match themes in my bags, very rarely. Part of it is I try to keep a small amount of whips, so if I tried to match the theme for everyone, I'd have way more bags. So we do keep them kind of just the things I like. There are a few that kind of match. If it's something nautical, sometimes this could have had a matching bag, but it's what was available at the time I kitted it. So that was my other new start. Everything else I worked on was something you've seen before. It is a whip. So let's talk about whip go first. And I know last time I talked about switching up my Troubled Waters and my KT event, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure I have it right this time. I didn't. It's going to get easier now that some of these are starting to see more progress. So the first one was Close Encounters, and this was, oh, I don't have the start date. This one I believe I started in February. And this was for, I can't even remember now at this point which the call was, but this is the one I have the most progress on. This is what it's going to look like. If you don't remember, or if this is your first time here, for WhipGo I have 3 projects. You can hear that scratching sound. It's one of my cats using its cardboard scratcher. But I have 3 projects on the board. Each one's on there 8 times. I do 1,000 stitches, and I am doing half stitches, but I'm not doubling them. They're just 1,000 is 1,000. And working through them. So this one has been called the most. So this is what it looked like last time. Let me put that up too, or maybe I would have put it up sooner. But here's what it looks like now. So we worked in our spaceships and more of the blue here. There was actually, I had miscounted, so I actually had to rip out a bunch and restitch it in there, but I'm loving how it's looking. Yeah, so we got, this one I got 2 extra stitches, so I got 1,002 stitches, and this is 22 count white Aida from Charles Craft, called for DMC 2/1 half cross. So, and I'm pretty happy with how it's looking there. And obviously I started in the top left and I miscalculated my margins, but it's fine. It's enough for me. I will probably slap these in some frames and hang them up. So yeah, and each one of these is going to be for one of my cats. So I'm saving the cat for last on all of them, because that's going to be well, it's going to be a change to the pattern. Actually, I think this was the only one that's not. This is going to be for my cat Voodoo. Looks like this. He is black. The cat in this one is black, except the only thing I'm going to do is I am going to use Whisper on this one, because if you can see the picture of my cat, he is fluffy, and I thought it would be fun to make a fluffy cat there. So that was the first Whipco call. My next Whipco call was Troubled Waters, which will look like this. And the last time you saw it, where did it go? I've got 3 different projects in this bag. The last time you saw it, it looked like this. So this is one of the ones that had been more frequently than the other, but not as much as Close Encounters. The Whipco board has really favored Close Encounters, but here's what it looks like now. So if I remember correctly, let me look at it. Yeah, so we finished, or we didn't quite finish. We finished the main color of the wallpaper, and I started filling in the whites. It's not very exciting stitching. You can see I stopped it at exactly 1,000 there to fill that in. So the purple was there before from another time. I just apparently had decided we're knocking the backgrounds out first. Not much to see. This one was started January 3rd. Same fabric, called for 1,000 stitches. So we're slowly trucking along. I wish I had written down how many times this one was called. I'm looking at my board. I have a physical board up on my wall. So this has been called 4 times, whereas Close Encounters, this one has been six times? Yeah, so this one's gotten a lot more work. So I suspect, unless this number doesn't get called again until December, I suspect this one's going to be done first. But all 3 should be done by the end of the year. So that is my Whipco. They live in another Crab Shack stitchery bag. This one's kind of these retro watches. There. Okay. Let's go to the Sal. So I am doing Lola Crow's Museum After Midnight Sal. It'll look like, well, I don't have, I guess I can put the part 4 up there. I have mostly been keeping up. I suffered a little bit from being kind of bored of my projects or not wanting to work on them. I think part of it too is I have 2 Whipco projects that are, well, my 3 Whipcos are Lola Crow, and then this is Lola Crow, and I have another Sal that I haven't touched from a couple years ago that's also Lola Crow, and I feel like I might be getting a little Lola Crowed out. So I actually, well, I'll put up what it looked like last time you saw it. I think the last time you saw it, I just had the frame done, and we've had a few releases since then. So I am caught up through exhibit 3. I have not done 4 yet. So you can see here, I've got it. I went back to my 8.5 or my 11-inch Q snap, and the part of it's the bottom there, but we did the bottom portions. See if there's a way I can do this. Yeah, there we go. So we did our bottom exhibit 1. This was part of exhibit 2 here, and we've done all parts of exhibit 3, including all the back stitching. And I finished those Friday, Saturday, maybe even Sunday. I don't even remember now. But like after the next part came out, I just needed to take a little slower. We have a break this week, so I will still get it done before the next section releases there, but I'm taking advantage to have a little breather, because again, I don't want to burn out on this. Her stitch alongs are a lot of work, and I like to keep up. So I have added 4,286 stitches. This is the called for fabric, 32 count Royal Haven by Barefoot Needle Arts, and I'm using all the called for DMC 2/2. Yeah, and I mean, I just adore how much detail she gets into her stitches or into her designs. But it's more of a me thing right now. So, and she is living another Crab Shack Stitchery bag there. So, like I said, I just grabbed something that I know can fit. I like these bags because I can fit my 11 by 11 Q-snap in there, close it up, secure my projects. Because I do leave them in the Q-snap. I don't care. I don't have a problem with it. I've always been able to iron out the problem, or iron out the kinks if there are any. All right. Let's go through some smaller or some other projects. This is Persephone by Mirabilia. This is what she'll look like. This is a slow progress. This is the one I don't have numbers for because it's a paper pattern and I'm not counting. I can't be bothered. This is what she looked like last time. She only got 2 days of stitching. It wasn't even that much on the stitching from what I remember. Sorry, I'm just trying to move my needle minder off to the side here. So when I have one hanging thread there, but I'm just continuing to work on her skirt. So I filled in through here. I don't remember if I did anything over here, but working up here. I'm just trying to fill all the skirt in here. I ran out of ability to stitch down there. This is 28 count Huntress, or 28 count Lugana in the color Huntress by Picture This Plus. I always love how it pops. It is Lugana, so you don't see the modeling as much, but I think it's just stunning. So, and like the dress really pops off of it. So, it's all the called for DMC and water lilies in this one, and it will have the beads and everything like that. There's no Krynics in this one. Yeah, that's just, she's slowly trucking along. There's no plan. I just try to work on her at least twice a month to get some of this progress. We're trying to work through this massive skirt. There's like a whole bunch down here, and I want to get all that done and then work my way up. I have not said this. Grime guards are either Crab Shack Stitchery or I've made them. This one's Crab Shack Stitchery. I tend to make them a little wider so they can hold more fabric. But she does reside in a bag that I made, kind of inspired by Crab Shack Stitchery. So that is Persephone. Slowly trucking along. I do love stitching on that fabric though. It feels so wonderful. I do have to do it with enough light though. It's a dark fabric. All right. The next one, I was looking at my list. I got 6 total whips to show you. So that was 4 of them. On to number 5. This is the Poison Unicorn by Mama Witch X Stitch. She saw some progress, but not a ton. This is what she looked like last time you saw her. I had most of the unicorn done, not complete, and I think I had barely started some of the stuff around her. And so she is now done, and we are working through all the stuff around her. She got 1,604 stitches. I had wanted to get more, but again, I just kind of got tired. I guess it's kind of, well, there's a big flower that goes here that's missing, so it is a little crooked in here, but this is on a Forbidden Fiber Co. 32 count Belfast linen. There is no name. I got this from an oopsie bag. There was kind of a mark somewhere in there that the stitching ended up covering up. So I'm very happy with how it's looking. I was a little concerned. The pattern's originally designed for black, and this was kind of blending in, but I think it's looking really good now that we're getting more of the detail in. This is all called for DMC. I didn't change anything else, and I still didn't write the start date down, but I started this in May. There. So, and this is another Crab Shack Stitchery grime guard and a Crab Shack Stitchery bag. I think almost all of the needle minders I have shown you so far are Descent Stitch. All right, that leaves the last whip. Let me grab it. All right, so this lives in this one I made. This fits a 17 by 17 Q snap. First I thought I didn't need a bag. This is one of the only cases too where the bag actually matches, because this is my Calamity Tapestry, which will look like this. It's from Breath of the Wild. This is my absolutely massive project. I'm trying to move some things out of the way so you can actually see what I did as we go through. This is where it was last time, so it saw a big boost in May. I challenged myself to do some more stitching. I kind of almost burned myself on that too. I've learned that daily stitching on one project is not for me. But I did get my goal for this completed. So here's where we are now. So I finished the back stitching up through here. All of that, and then I worked on some of this, bringing this over. I'm trying to bring everything over to this, kind of towards this line. And then I did add, I don't remember if it was all of this row or a good chunk of this row of Guardians. So we are almost filling out my 17 by 17 space. It's smaller because we got all our fabric tucked up in here. And this is one of those grime guards I made, and I made it extra wide to kind of help hold all that excess. So this got, let's see, where is it? 2,063 stitches, going from, I actually have the stats for this one, 13.81 to 15.06. If you're new or if you just don't remember, my goal is to get this to 20% this year. I started around like 4% and I'm already to 15. So I'm actually very excited about that. I did the math and I have 8,468 stitches to get to the 20%. I've tried to do 2,000 a month. That means I only need 4 months to do it. So I'm ahead of schedule, which I'm very excited about. This is 28 or 25 count Zweigart Lugana in the color Mushroom. I'm using all the called for DMC 1/1, bar one of the DMCs in our monks here. I did change to better match my fabric. I could not get the called for, but I got something similar. So I did have to change that one, but basically the same. So yeah, I'm very excited. I also, this was originally started May 31st of 2023. So this is also my oldest project. So we've got about 8,000 stitches. That will be more than what's left that I can get to in here. So I'm very excited. Sometime, if I push, I think it's about 3,000 or so, roughly, will get me through this. So if I just do 2,000, I will move this in August. If I push a little bit, maybe next time you see it, I don't know. I kind of wanted to be able to, when I'm going to move it, to show you the whole thing. What I did, and I don't want to move. You know what I mean? I've had it in this frame for 3 years at this point. But yeah, I'm very excited. I do intend to go across the top and finish the top. I don't know if I'm going to come back to this side and work my way down and then over, but I am saving the middle for last. So I don't know if I'm going to just kind of go around in a circle or go over and then come back, but kind of just leave the middle open. My halfway point is actually about here. So these guardians are actually right through the halfway point. So that is exciting. So I have, it's not quite a quarter, but it'll be there. So yeah, and I just lost one of my lights. So, plans. My 2,000 on here, if I'm feeling ambitious, maybe a little bit more, we shall see. So we're keeping going with those monthly plans. The Beauty and the Beast sampler by Lena Ova, I want to do 2,000 a month on that one. So that will be part of the plan as well. Angelique, my other new start, she's a biggin. So I would roughly want to aim for about 2,000 like the others to get some good progress, but I'll be happy with at least 1,000. Poison Unicorn, or I think Floral Unicorn is what it's called now. I would like to finish that one this month. There's not that much going. That one's at 65%. It's not a large pattern. It's like 2,000 something stitches left, plus a little bit of back stitch. So I'm hoping to finish that one. Whip Go. That's the other one. I was like, there's something else. Persephone will get her, a couple times working on it. But for Whip Go. So we have our calls. I'm actually very excited about this call. It was 17 and 9, and they're actually the same project. And it's the one I have the least amount of work on. So I am very excited to work on that. This is KT Event. Let's see. This looks like up. See, it's been a while since I worked on this. So this is where it's at. And again, I had done a little bit of the background and some of the frame here. So I will likely, just put 2,000 stitches into the background to try to get it to catch up. But yeah, I was actually very excited because it's been a while since I worked on this one. This is the one that's had the least calls, the least amount of work. One's the background's done. We've got a big chunk of the window done. The other one, we've got the background almost done. This one needs a lot more work. So looking forward to that for my Whip Go calls. So, and because it's half stitch, I can knock it out pretty quickly. And I might even be able to get the whole, or I don't know if I can get 2,000 in a day, but I usually can get 1,000 in a day. Most of the time, I'm lucky if I get like between, 500, 600, depending on the project. So it is fun because they do go kind of quick. There are some possibilities of new starts. At some point, I realized, as of right now, I have 13 finishes this year. We are at the halfway point. I could potentially do a 26 for 26. So it would be smalls most likely, but I have been looking at some of my patterns in my stash that are around 2,000 to 3,000, somewhere in there. Definitely less than 5,000, to see what I could maybe crank out. So I have a couple in mind. So you may see some additional smaller starts. I don't want to list them all. There's quite a few. I have 13. If I want to get to 26, I need 13. So we'll see. And I very much am a stitch what I want when I want, but I do try to limit how many whips I have, because it does give me anxiety to have too many, because I feel like I can't work on them. They're not making progress, and that bothers me. Not enough progress. I admire people who have 30 whips or 50 whips or 100, or if you're Jen the Caffeinated Crafter, over 200. I don't understand how. It doesn't drive you crazy, but I admire that. So we shall see. I leave it loose for that, but I do want to make progress on what I have. I have a tiny bit of haul. Mostly DMC. Got some in the Colaris family. Some I bought with a project in mind. I bought this color. It's 4505, kind of a purple and green. This one I got with a specific project in mind. I will put that one up. It is one of the ones I'm thinking about starting. This is a Thistle from Owl Florist Embroidery. It is a free pattern, and I liked it, and I was looking at the thread, and it's kind of a purple and green. So I had gone to Michael's and looked and was like, that'll do. So I bought some of that, and then I bought the others, just a couple of ones that I liked. No real plan, but they were on clearance. So I wanted to get them while I could look at them in person. So just a few colors there. And then I did pick up a little 4-pack of these wood canvases. I always wanted to try them. They're 11 count mesh. And these were also a clearance. So I try some ornaments or something like that on there. So it was sort of because they were on clearance and I needed a little bit of retail therapy, but still had to stay within a budget. I don't know if you can hear that, but that's my cat. One of my cats is now playing with a toy in the living room. All right, so that was my tiny bit of haul. If that's all you're here for, thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I do have one thing. Okay, so with my progress, I've been doing monthly updates, but I have, basically I'm showing you everything. Every whip I have. There's one that's kind of in timeout. I suspect I won't want to work on it until Christmas time because it is Christmas whip. But basically you see everything every week. And I've been getting a lot of stitching done. I have been debating going to twice a month or every other week. You might see a little bit of variety. You wouldn't see, 10 projects every time. I don't know. It is something I am thinking about. I'm curious if people would be more interested in watching more frequent updates, or if they're fine with, here's everything I did this month, and basically a whip parade every month. With that too, I'm not doing a mid-year whip parade because I basically just did one. So let me know what you think. Do you prefer it that way? Obviously this could change if I end up stitching less, but right now I'm doing a lot of stitching, so I'm thinking about increasing the frequency. So yeah, now I'm really done talking about stitching. I'm going to do a little bit of life update and I will get you on your way. So thank you so much for stopping by. If that's all you're interested in, if you want to stick around for the life update, it will be brief. So yes, if you watched my quilting video, I talked about this a little bit. Not much has changed, but I am going to go through it again. I mentioned I had a job interview. I did not get that job. It is what it is. I am fortunate in that where I work now, while it is part-time, I have a very supportive boss who's, willing to give me the work. It's kind of contract, so to speak, but I teach, so it's like, oh, okay, you need more income, let me have you teach another class. So we are going through that. We are in the summer session right now. I think last time we talked it had just started or was about to start. Now we are in full swing. We're about halfway through. It's a very fast class, and we will be done at the beginning of August. So not much else has been going on besides that. I am continuing to job hunt. Not the most exciting thing. We are not doing anything fancy for the 4th of July. That is coming up. We attend a monthly wrestling show, and it happens to fall on that day, so we are doing that. Normally we might hang out with some friends, have some drinks, but we never go see fireworks or anything, so not a big loss there. Yeah, other than that, it's just stuff around our house. We have to get a new roof, so that's fun. We're in the process of getting that going too. I don't suspect any of it will impact my stitching as much unless I just no longer have time because of work, or if I didn't talk about this, but sewing was a big suck of my time. I got a little less stitching done because I finally wanted to sew. If you want to see more about all of this and some of the other stuff, I did post a quilting video last week, and I hope to do those more regularly too. So that's it. Like I said, a very short WIP update today, or life update. Shorter WIP update as well. I am trying not to ramble as much. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you think about the change in upload schedule, if that's something that interests you or not, or you don't care, that's also fine. And with that, I will see you either at the end of the month or in 2 weeks if we decide to go that route. All right, thank you once again for stopping by.